preparation for life's challenges, for life's unscheduled events. You didn't expect the divorce, you didn't expect to be laid off from work, you didn't expect to lose your health. For life's unscheduled events, the best preparation is
prepare for the worst.
To work towards that situation, which may happen, which may not happen, but you are there. If it happens, suppose there is stress, okay, but then you are aware, that awareness is there, that stress may come, then you will be able to handle it. As I said, you hope for the best, like everything was going to, like in wedding, they say bed of roses, but then once you jump on the bed, you'll find some thorns, so you should be prepared for some thorns. Okay.
the best preparation is in the acquisition of wisdom. Because wisdom gives us the power to create the outcomes we desire. Yeah? So regardless of what happens, you are prepared emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually for any challenge. But most people are not willing to be wise. They're interested in riches. They're interested in relationships. They're interested in entertainment. They're interested in everything except wisdom. They're totally unprepared for life. And therefore they suffer. Very clear so far?
Yeah.
So as we get a little wiser, we come to understand the nature of ignorance. Do you remember what ignorance means?
Absence of knowledge.
Ignorance can be defined as the absence of knowledge. How else can you define it?
Even though knowing, I don't want to accept your wisdom or your advice. I will do my way.
Beautiful. So, ignorance can be seen as the insidious. You understand the word insidious? Very gradually it creeps up on us. Yeah? It's like an infection which very gradually destroys us. So, ignorance is seen as the insidious misdirection of the mind, which makes us believe that we get all kinds of ailments, physical, emotional, psychological ailments arise from being unprepared for life. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, would you agree? Now, this is part 2. Would you agree that deprived of a stimulating environment, any creature will suffer?
No.
No. Why?
Actually, it means
So if you cage an animal or a bird, it is happy in a cage?
No, not at all.
So,
Not at all.
So the question is,
Natural environment. If you
Stimulating
love something,
environment
set it
is-
free.
for
If
growth
it comes
it is
back to you, it's yours. If it doesn't, it never was. One of the most beautiful lines which I have read.
the question is, deprived of a stimulating environment, will any creature suffer?
it
Yes.
will reduce the growth.
Correct. Yeah, if you constrict someone's growth, there's no stimulating environment, any creature will suffer. Whether it is an animal, bird, insect, human being, any creature will suffer. So, in which way do we cage ourselves? Do we deprive ourselves to inflict suffering upon ourselves? What do we do?
With our own
Self-
thoughts.
We
Just with our own thoughts. With our own thoughts. That we create a particular
We create our own suffering with our thoughts.
with
Yes.
our thoughts, and which obviously affects our emotions
reacts
and our
on
feelings,
us.
Okay?
you know.
Our thoughts affect our emotions, our responses, and so forth.
Very correct. Thoughts are very important.
Yes.
We create our own pattern knowingly or unknowingly,
Yes.
and we treat that as a comfort zone, and we don't want to get out of it.
It's a fear also.
There's fear, yes.
You know.
In fact, we create our own stress.
Right.
Okay. We take more than what we can chew.
Correct.
Okay. And then not realizing that, okay, it's like you take up a job 9 to 5, but then you slowly leave the office at say 10 o'clock in the night and take back home the work, and then you're still working till 2 o'clock in the night, next morning you rush. So you're taking more than what you can chew.
Okay. So which other way do we deprive ourselves, which creates this difficulty?
Self-pity is one of them.
Self-pity is
We are
there.
pitying ourselves, telling everybody and this and that.
Okay.
That's what my experience
Okay.
was.
Yes.
Your own depression, nothing was pitying your own self.
Okay. Something else?
Trying to be competitive, like I must be the top rat on top.
Okay.
We really don't know
But
our
then you have to
potential.
give them.
We don't know our potential. Okay.
The power within us, basically, we are not aware of that. What we can do and to what extent we
And
can.
okay, you're correct. But which kind of power are we talking about here? Let me give you an example.
When she talks of power, I think it is the potentials,
Yes.
endowed potentials by the nature.
Like in every family, how much fun and laughter exists, how much playfulness,
Hardly
how
any.
much touching, how much edification. I really love you, darling. I'm so appreciative of you, sweetheart. Yeah? How many positive affirmations do we share with our family, friends, and colleagues? Very little. This is called living in a deprived environment. Yeah? Being in a deprived environment, we suffer. We suffer from neglect, self-neglect, and neglect from others. It creates difficulties. It creates massive problems in any relationship. Yeah? So we do have the power, we all have the power to be more humorous, to be more playful, to be more creative, instead of the same monotony, day in and day out, living with the same person, saying the same things, nothing unusual, nothing novel. It is a drain on our resources. Are you understanding? That's not the kind of life we were born to live. We're here to enjoy life. We're not here to be slogging away. We're not here to be constantly criticizing. We're not here to be negative. We are here to edify ourselves and to edify other people, to lift them up. And yet, we don't do it because we are not dedicated to being wise. We're dedicated to consuming. We're dedicated to sensory pleasures. We're not dedicated to being wise. And it's the worst choice going on the planet. Does it make sense, please? Yeah?
Like the power is not channelized in the right direction.
It's just our energy is we are imploding from inside. Cancer is an implosion growing up from inside. Yeah? So just think for yourself. The kind of thoughts, feelings, words, and actions that you experienced today, are they really very different from what you experienced last week? Are they? The same,
It's monotonous.
the same conversations,
Same pattern.
the same ideals, the same fears, the same aspirations. Yeah? Last week, last month, last year, have you really shifted your frequency? Have you really shifted your resonance to accommodate a higher form of reality? You want to be happier, but what are you doing to be happier? What is the inner change that is taking place that allows you to be happier? Difficult. But the funny thing is that magnificence is happening around you and within you, but you're not present to it. You're locked in your tiny little idea of reality. That is a deprived environment. There's no stimulation there. Life becomes monotonous. Yeah? Okay. Therefore, people say that rich experiences create rich lives, whereas shallow experiences create mediocrity. Yeah? Rich experiences create rich lives, shallow experiences do nothing for us. So what is a rich experience? What is your definition of that?
when the inner core being is touched to the zenith, okay, you can, even though you may have achieved little, but your enjoyment of that particular work or achievement of that particular project is, let's say, you cannot express it. Okay.
Okay.
Whereas another person can express in terms of money, okay, I made 1 lakh rupees. But the real person would say, okay, I achieved this project and I can't express my joy.
Okay, that's a good one. Something else?
Which experience is where you actually experience the paradigm shift. That is the rejects experience.
Okay. Paradigm shift. Say it in some tangible ways.
So experience, we get different type of experience actually now. We may get a painful experience, we may get a joy experience. So there are different type of experience. That is what I believe actually.
Okay, fine.
Because when we come across different people have got different thoughts, different thinking,
Okay.
and different ideas and all. And again, at the same time, we depend on the upbringings of the people also.
Okay.
Because the people who are, you can say, born with a silver spoon, they don't have any experience about what the other's real person is suffering actually.
Okay.
It is said somewhere, I heard this in के मेरे पास, I've got full knowledge, I'm better than you, I can work better than you, but still your life is better than me. That is especially with the rich people who has got, the son is not that he's a poor, I mean a Buddha guy actually, but his father has got rich person, very rich person, officer, where the poor person has got everything, but he's not happy with this because this man can do everything. I mean, I'm trying to say what people can understand what I'm trying to say.
Many times I've heard people say that their mates are happier than them. Their family life is better.
Yes.
So I've heard many people say
Yes.
this.
Right.
Why? Because they eat happily, they sleep merrily.
Yes.
Then this I think is quite true.
Yes.
Sometimes I also feel my mate is happier than me.
No, again here also I can say one sentence I can remember. What you feel, you become. If you feel you are weak or if you feel weak or defeated, that means you are allowing the failures to dominate your thoughts. Again, it depends up to you also how you take it yourself.
You're correct. Okay, let me give you another example of what this means. Suppose a friend of yours has just built a beautiful bungalow out in the countryside. She's got this nice property, large property, swimming pool, big bungalow, and good furniture and everything. And then she invites you to come and visit for the house opening ceremony. And she invites everybody else that she knows also. Architects, lawyers, doctors, chefs, hairdressers, all kinds of people from different walks of life come to visit her to celebrate this house warming party. Now when the hairdresser walks in, what will she notice? Will she notice the house and the swimming pool so much? What will she notice?
The hairstyle of the people.
She will notice the hairstyle. The interior designer, will he notice hairstyles?
No.
The decor.
No. He notices interiors. And the chef, cardamoms, I wonder what's cooking. The chef is interested in the kitchen and how it's set up. He's interested in his reality, right?
Yeah.
So each one of us has basically narrowed down our field of interest,
Right. Right.
right? And the rest of life is floating by us totally unnoticed. So a rich experience really means to be able to open these filters and to see things in a broader perspective. Not just the kitchen, not just the hairstyles, not just the interiors, but the full panorama of life has to be relished.
You mean big picture?
The larger picture.
70 mm.
What do you
70
mean?
mm. 70 mm.
70 mm, high definition.
Yeah.
Yeah? High def, reality. Yes, that's what we aim for.
Huge screen.
Yes, yes.
Something
But-
beyond our family, basically.
Not just,
We are always actually trying
Family
to,
and work, family and work,
yeah,
family
that's
and
what,
work.
and friends, whatever.
And entertainment
but
and
not
consuming
beyond.
and alcohol and
Yeah.
sweets.
So the social.
It's like
Yeah.
me, myself, and Irene.
Correct. Yeah, me, myself, and Irene. There's a bit of a suffering there.
Yeah.
Most people have a tendency to specialize in focusing on things that don't work.
Negative.
Yeah?
It will not work.
ये क्यों किया, वो क्यों नहीं किया, why is it like this, why is it not like that? Yeah? Some people have become PhD specialists in totally screening out all that is beautiful, all the blessings they enjoy, they screen it out and they focus on that tiny little thing that's not working, and they have this incredible gift to make themselves miserable.
They enjoy that.
They call it,
Yeah.
they call
relish
it,
it.
they call it in Gujarati khankot you.
Yes,
Putting fingers on it.
whatever it is. Yeah.
I know what that was.
Yeah, putting finger, correct.
Okay.
Poking finger, yeah.
Now,
Poking dirty
although it's an art to be admired, I think it's an art we should stay away from. Yeah? To focus on things that are not working is not really the best reality you want to aim at. Rich experiences create rich lives. And a rich experience is to be able to see things from many perspectives, not just one perspective. Not just to say, oh, you're a human being. Oh, so what? Yeah? There's so much there. You know what an entomologist is? Have you heard of the term entomologist?
Study of the insects.
Beautiful. An entomologist is someone who studies insects. So for us, a fly in the room
It's a nuisance.
It's a nuisance. But for an entomologist,
You
a
study.
fly holds endless fascination. It's such an amazing insect. Not just the fly, any insect pretty much. Anything is amazing if we go into the depth of it. So a rich experience is not just a wider experience of reality, but a different way of seeing it and to see it in depth. That's a rich experience. Because, for instance, if I am learning the piano, my enjoyment will definitely increase as my understanding of the instrument increases. Yeah? The greater the music I can bring out of the piano, the greater my joy. And the greater the music means I know it in depth, not shallow. Same with life. The more in depth we understand life, the greater our pleasure. But people are not experiencing life in depth. And because we have cultivated this laziness, this lazy thinking, this lazy mind, we gravitate towards happiness through other people's lives. Yeah? Our lives are miserable. Let's see other people's misery also. And feel good about it.
We enjoy that.
Oh yes, no,
No,
yes.
someone is worse than us.
Yes, yes.
Especially you can call it jealousy then. That's it.
Whatever it is, we are not doing ourselves a favor by living vicariously. Yeah? We have a life, a precious human birth, we have an incredible mind, we have to learn how to use it effectively. Very important.
They say life is beautiful.
Yes, but it is one thing to say it and another thing to live it.
Because once we say it, then there's the next step to live it.
Yes.
If we don't say it, then there's no chance of next step.
But again, to live it also requires study.
Yes.
How do you do it correctly without hurting other people? Without constantly being me. Deep within us, there are possibilities, endless possibilities. We call this our potential. Yeah? Deep within us, endless possibilities, we call this our potential. All around us also exist endless possibilities. And we call this opportunities. how well we can blend our potential with the opportunities around us determines how well we live. And for most of us, because we live in self-neglect, we're not conscious of the potential we carry within us. Because we live in self-neglect, we're not conscious of the opportunities in front of us. We can't recognize them. So most of us are in this complaint mode when truly we are blessed beyond measure, but we just don't have the right vision to see it. Too much cataract. Are you understanding, please?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Deep within us, we have the potential. All around us are the opportunities. We're not measuring, we're not blending the two correctly. All around us, every day, we have the potential to smile more.
Yes.
We have the potential
To
to
laugh more.
assist someone more. We have the potential to reach out and make someone else's life a little more happy. But we're doing it? Not really.
What's in it for me?
What's in it for me? WIFM syndrome.
What am I going to gain out of it?
Pardon me?
What am I going to gain out of it?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
There are
What's
a
in
lot
it
of
for me?
people who use positive affirmations, like you can do the best, but actually inside they're like, forget it, you can't do it. That kind of an attitude.
You can't deceive ourselves.
Yeah.
It's only.
Yeah, no, I'm just generally like trying to say that's how people think.
Yeah.
Or us. Not.
Okay, people who know themselves grow themselves. People who don't are miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah? So to grow yourself means what? People who know themselves grow themselves. Grow in what sense?
In
Wisdom, understanding.
in its true potential.
To be a good human being.
To be a good human being, they grow themselves. How else do we say it? People who know themselves grow themselves. Means,
There are people who don't want to know, and I'm happy in my own ways.
yes,
This don't bother me.
correct. But these are not
It's for the
people.
sake. I'm a Sansari person. That's for the sake.
Yes.
That's how he protects himself.
Live life in abundance. Because when you grow, then your potential is like the aura can reach out to a, you can say, unfathomable thing.
Okay. To grow
And
oneself,
Sometimes they are shirking from responsibility because growing will have more responsibility. That also sometimes.
you can have the responsibility, but if you really grow in the process, you are able to meet that responsibility with ease.
Correct. Yes.
So to grow ourselves means to learn from every experience. Instead of blaming,
Yes.
pointing
You learn.
fingers, to grow means to learn from the experience so that the difficulty does not repeat itself again.
Difficulty to overcome.
When we don't grow from the experience, the difficulty repeats itself endlessly, day in and day out. Yeah? So people who know themselves grow themselves. They grow out of the difficulties and towards the light. People who don't know themselves, who don't grow themselves, are miserable. And they are miserable because
They don't want to come out of the comfort zone.
They don't want to change.
they don't want to change, they don't want to come out of the comfort zone.
And again, the experiences, you don't want to learn from all the experiences that they've gone through.
Okay? And what are they not
And
learning?
they keep repeating all the time because they feel like, no, it couldn't be possible that way.
It's okay. It's okay. Your comfort where you are. I'm happy.
Okay, but something else. People, why are most people miserable?
Of course, that's as I said earlier, we are ignorant of
They are custom
the truth.
Ignorant of the fact that we are ignorant.
Yeah.
Making the same
The
mistakes.
inability to understand that I am not coming out of the shell in which I am. Okay, the moment I come out of the shell,
I'm
now I
happy
see-
over here. Don't bother me.
People are miserable because you put on 28. Can you put, madam, can you put on 25? I'm starting to roast a little bit.
That's very hard.
Directly it's
It's
come.
not,
25 is fine, madam.
Thanks.
Thank you.
you can chill us, don't worry, we'll chill.
Generally speaking, people are miserable because they believe that their difficulties are related to people and circumstances. People are miserable because they have taken on the victim role. They are not proactive with their lives. It's easier to blame other people, it's easier to blame circumstances for why they suffer. So they're miserable simply because of their misperception of where the difficulty really is. They're not taking responsibility for their lives. They're wanting other people to change before they can be happy. So that's never going to happen. So people who know themselves, grow themselves, they take responsibility, learn from the experience and move on. The people who don't know themselves, who don't grow themselves, are constantly pointing fingers as to why they suffer.
It's more like a blame game.
Blame game. Correct. Please understand that for us to want to be happy, for us to experience a rich life, a joyous life, in the absence of wisdom, without working towards wisdom, is similar to wanting to play tennis, lawn tennis, with a golf club. It's a very difficult proposition. Yeah? Trying to play lawn tennis with a golf club is futile. The tool is not suited to the reality. In the same way, wanting to be happy on the foundation of ignorance is not going to happen. The only way happiness arises is when the right conditions are present. And the right condition is awareness. Without awareness, to want to be happy, futile. Totally futile. As a golf club on a tennis court. It doesn't belong there. Clear? Yeah. Now the beauty of life is that we are all born, pretty much, we are all born with the same capital. Whoever is given it to us, we are all endowed with it. Yeah, we are all endowed with the same capital. How we invest this capital determines how well we live. And this capital is priceless. What is this capital we are all born with?
Health.
Health? And not quite.
Your potentials. The way you
The time?
the way you want to work it up to. Your potentials.
Yes, the potentials are there. We're all born with the ability to think.
Think.
We're all born with
The
these
wisdom.
5 faculties.
I think so.
Yeah, 5 senses. Would you exchange your eyes for a few
Rupees.
lakhs of rupees?
Never.
Yeah? I don't think so.
Self kidneys.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So just keeping one kidney, no? Not two.
Yeah.
But nobody will exchange eyes.
So we're all born with this capital. How well we use this capital determines how well we live. We're not using especially our ability to think.
The wisdom.
The wisdom is dormant. It's there, but it's dormant, it is neglected. So the sooner we become wise and see the importance of being wise, we're not really going to experience the quality of life we desire. Yeah? Now, one final statement before I take some questions. We are happiest when we are most fully alive. Yeah? We're not happy when we're dull and drowsy. We're not happy. We're happiest when we're most fully alive. And when are we most fully alive?
Healthy.
When you are at the peak of your health.
Healthy.
When we're healthy, that's when we're really alive.
Yes.
When
Living rich moment, joyously.
It's not just health, it's not just physical health, it is in learning to bring enrichment into our moments.
Live every moment.
Right?
This
It's
is
like-
living moment to moment.
Not just living moments to moment.
Here and now.
It's not just living here and now. You live here and now and be miserable. Yeah? But learning to bring enrichment into our moments, that's when we are most fully alive. Even if your health may not be so great, but if your mind is sharp, and if you're able to perceive the beauty in the moment, and if you're able to enrich someone else's life with your words, with your actions, with yourself, with your presence, that's when you're most fully alive and happiest. Not when we're living selfishly. Not when we're constantly waiting passively for happiness to come to us. That's not the way to go. We are most fully alive when we are actively involved in bringing richness into the moment. Seeing that fly in a way which is just magnificent. Seeing every experience in perspectives which the poets and the artists and the mystics see it from. Right now we're not seeing things clearly. Too dull, the vision is too dull. We're not alive because we're not seeing it correctly. Mind is sluggish. And it is all a matter of choice. That's what this talk has been about. A matter of choice. We're not choosing wisdom. And we can. We have the ability to choose it. And it is the only choice worth making. That makes everything else possible. Right, now, any questions? If you don't have questions, then I'd like to ask you to reflect on what was the